Ronnie Watts was interviewed at the Frederick Police Department on the 15th of August 2018 by FBI agent Mark LEHRER. After being advised of the identity of the interviewing agent and the nature of the interview, Watts provided the following information. Ronnie Watts' interview with subtitles as he is very difficult to understand.
So how you doing?
Looks like I'm stressed out and stuff.
I totally understand.
I understand what happened or what's going on.
Yeah.
Let's see. Like I was telling them, Graham.
Yeah.
She's a very controlling woman. As far as that, my wife says she's a narcissist from what she got.
Well, you know, if I could put you up on something, just answer you a couple basic questions, just your name and all that information, so I can take notes.
Ronnie
Watts,
W-A-T-T-S.
W-A-T-T-S. Okay. So your date of birth? And obviously Chris is your son.
Yeah.
One boy and a girl. All right. And so you just flew out here today, this morning? Okay. All right. And if you could, maybe you could just start with what happened, how you became aware that there's a situation.
Chris would call me, let's see, get the days right, today's Wednesday, right?
Yes, sir.
This was happened Monday. He would call me and said, there's something going on, what's going on.
Do you remember what day that was?
It was Monday.
Monday?
Okay.
Do you know approximately what time?
It was morning time when I got home from work. It was around 6:30 my time, so I'm getting about 4:30 out here in August.
Okay. With the
well, if my memory serves me right, I'm keep the days straight right now.
Yeah, no, and it's just as best as you recall. So, okay, so about that time you gave your call, I said, something's going on?
Yeah.
Okay, and what did he tell you about that?
He said, Chanel and the girls are missing, or gone, is what he told me. They're missing, they're gone, they don't know where they're at. He said she left her phone, her purse, her car. He says he has no clue what the hell she's run off with the kids or what the hell's going on.
Okay.
He was dumbfounded about it, more or less. And he told me the situation, what happened, that the other girl. He told me what happened that morning, that they had a discussion, because she already knew this was coming, that he wanted to get a separation and put the house up for sale. And he said the marriage just wasn't working any longer.
Okay. Were you aware of that prior to this phone call?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you knew they were married?
Yeah. And he told me about a couple weeks prior to that, when he'd come down to, she'd come down to North Carolina for 6 weeks. And staying some with us, some with her parents. Her parents live about 30-40 miles from us.
Okay. Also, were they originally living in North Carolina before they moved out here to Colorado?
You come up.
I'm talking about Chris and, how do I say, Shanann.
They've, met, actually, a friend of ours introduced them. That's what, 7, 8 years ago, whatever it was. And Chris left home at 18 when he graduated. He moved to Charlotte. He went to NASCAR Tech, and he worked at a Ford dealership for a few years. And then him and Stan moved in together out there, and then they decided to move to Colorado, out here. Now she's had friends up here for some reason. I don't want to have them all out here, but anyway, that's what they did.
And then, how old were they within that, or how long ago was that?
And then 7, 8 years ago.
7 or 8? Mm-hmm. And how old is Chris? I'm not even sure the age is.
His birthday is May 16th or 17th. My anniversary is one day, his birthday's the next. It's 16th or 17th. And it's 1985. It's 33.
Okay. So they met about 7 or 8 years ago in North Carolina, and they moved out. Do you remember when they moved out here?
That I couldn't tell you. I don't know exactly when that was.
Okay. Just a background information, but okay. So they moved on out here to Colorado. Did they have children while they were in North Carolina, or did they have one here?
Here.
And it's 2 children.
Yeah.
And then one
Bella and CC, and one on the way.
All right. Bella and CC. So when was that visit? You said she was in North Carolina for about 6 weeks visiting her family?
That was very true. Calendar.
I know about that. It was handy to have.
I'm trying to remember all the dates and stuff down about, but they just flew back, because she went to the Lavelle thing in Arizona. They got one.
You think it's July? This weekend?
What's the day's date?
Today is the 15th. I'm sorry, I got all sorts of stuff that time.
But she went to what was it? But they flew back here, 8th and 9th, I think.
Oh, so this was recent. They just got back from North Carolina?
Yeah.
And it was the whole family?
Yeah, but she stayed out there 6 weeks. Chris came down for the last week.
Okay.
We come down there, which I got to see him one time when he was down there, because she refused to let us see the kids.
Yeah.
Because her and my wife had a falling out.
Okay.
Twice.
Okay. So for this week, they were both there?
Yeah.
That was good.
So they were, we went on vacation. Me and my son-in-law and my other 2 grandkids, my wife stuff, went to Myrtle Beach, and they were in North Myrtle Beach at the same time, and it was like 5 miles apart. We were still getting to the grandkids.
Okay. Yeah, so I definitely want to hear about that, some of the stuff that's been going on.
Yeah.
But you think they came back to Colorado the 9th to the 10th?
She flew out and went to Arizona for the Lavelle conference thing, and the getaway thing they go on, which, if I'm not mistaken, she went out Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and flew back Monday morning, early in the morning, like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, I think.
Came back here on Monday. Okay, so she went from North Carolina to the conference in...
No, they came back here first.
Oh, they came back here first?
Yeah.
And then she turned around.
Yeah, then she turned around, they went back here maybe 2 days, or 1 day I think it was, and she turned around and flew back.
Okay.
Well, hang on, I might be able to tell you.
Okay.
My phone won't get it yet.
Oh, that conference you went to, was that in Las Vegas?
No, it was in Arizona.
Arizona.
I can pull up some of her stuff still on her Facebook, some I can't. I think one of those blocked. What's that? Poor wife, I
Oh, and I forgot to ask, but the girls were with them, right, when they visited in North Carolina? Yeah. They were. Okay.
asking to the people that need to talk to that makes sense to you. And it says like you're like, you're not sure you can go on that. And then this is
What are you doing? She was down, because I said it was, she had the dates on here, whatever, on her Facebook thing, but I can't be here for that.
That's okay. That's okay.
But she was down for 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris come down the last week, which was, I can't give you the exact dates on it. Anyway, more than this, on the beach. Okay, this is, we haven't talked to her since that blowout, the second week she was there, or second weekend she stayed with us. And she sent this text to us. I got a freaking tape on Thursday. This one ended, okay, when they got back here, they did the sonogram for the baby. And that we have not talked to her from the time that, I'll tell you about the little story about the little falling out they had. She sent this picture of the sonogram to me at 8 o'clock in the morning, my time, so it's 6 o'clock in the morning here. No comment or nothing on it, no, nothing. At 11:30, well, okay, the time changed, okay, and at 1:30 that afternoon, she texted back, wanted to share the picture of the new baby. And she's reaching out, so that's when Chris, I think, originally told her that he got separation and stuff. That was, I'm not sure exactly when he told her, I think Wallace told her, because he told me when he was down for the visit, and he was down, he said, those 4 or 5 weeks he was here by himself, he said, I felt this alone then as I do when she's here. He said, there's no, she's like, I don't love her anymore.
And was that the first time, or were you aware of prior marital problems prior to that?
I could sense something was going on because, it just wasn't all lovey-dovey like it used to be. And anytime we come visit them, we come here a couple times a year and FaceTime with them and stuff. She's sitting on her ass on the phone, doing her little stuff, visit, running around, taking care of kids, feeding kids, doing this, doing that, and then she accuses him of not doing anything with the kids, take care of the kids. I said, Chris, every time I see you, you're doing everything with the kids, getting the class, feeding them, doing everything. He loves them kids, I think. But he didn't do anything to hurt one of the kids. Nothing, or neither one, but,
And was it something that from what you were seeing or what Chris had said to you, did it seem like it was serious marital problems, prior to this visit back to North Carolina?
I wouldn't say it was serious, it was just something that's been going on and on. He said I should have done this a long time ago. And just like the baby now they're having, she was telling us when she was down there to visit, it was Chris's idea, 80-20, they have another baby because he wanted a boy. And I mentioned that to him when he come down. That one afternoon I got to see him, he said it wasn't him, it was all her, it wasn't another child. And so she flips everything around on that type deal. Ain't trying to put her down or nothing, but just anyway, kind of person she is, everything's about her. She has this persona that she wants, this image she wants out there all the time, or what, everything's hunky-dory, everything's beautiful in the world and stuff, when it's not. Like Chris told me, everything she has on Facebook is a mask, it's just to put on.
Is it all very positive? And
everything that she tries to put out there, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what she does.
What was the company that she works for? Is it makeup or something?
Somebody over there say, it's called company's available, but it's called Thrive. It's a nutrition thing, patches and pills and nutrition shakes and all that stuff. And it's come out with new weight loss packs and stuff.
Okay. And was that like a part-time job that you had?
That's all she did.
That's all she did is full-time?
And she had, before she got into this, doing 2 or 3 other jobs, like little department stores out here and stuff. Actually, she was, years ago, when it was here, when he worked at the Ford dealership, before he got to the old business, she got there and started selling cars, didn't she? Doing that good. Yeah. And she's a salesperson, believe me. See, that's what her knack is.
And is that what she does for Thrive? She's a salesperson.
She has, it's a pyramid type thing. She has all these different people under her. Mm-hmm. And what they sell, she makes, money on what they sell.
Gotcha.
So it's a team thing. And I think she was like 34th, 35th at the time.
Oh, so she's pretty good at it.
And I actually asked Chris, and I told him, I said, if y'all do decide to sell pregnant or whatever, she can come back to North Carolina, or stay out here. And he said that. The child support I have to pay, so I have to stay out there. So I can make that kind of money back there. Because it makes good money. That's what, nobody asking what does she make. He said she makes pretty much what I make.
Oh.
So make money.
And I think somebody told me that he's a supervisor for.
He's coming up for a former job, yeah.
Former job? And for Anadarko?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what they're looking at him for now.
Now, I know the oil money pays pretty well.
Yeah.
Do you know about what that is? What kind of salary?
I never asked him. I don't want to get into that. I have no idea.
Not sure, and I'm curious because if she makes what he makes.
Yeah, I mean, she just started doing this last few years, not what she made before.
Mm-hmm.
But she's making good money now.
Do you know, did they have any financial problems? Was there any kind of, was that part of the marital strife?
Not that I know of, but he said you don't see a reason they have to live in that big ass house they live in, so they don't need that kind of, as far as it was them 2 and 2 kids, they didn't need that, $300,000 house sitting out there. He said sometimes you must go, making sure you're making that money, making that freaking house back. I said, that's part of life, everybody gets to that.
Sure. But as far as nothing major.
He never called last week for the money.
He can say they'd be like, hey, I'm a real bad dad. She's a real bad dad.
Sometimes when Cece was born, I even paid for my wife's flight to come out here, when she was being born and everything, help watch after kids, and when they go on some of their Lavelle trips, sometimes he went, sometimes he didn't, depending on what time you get off. My wife would come out here, I'd come out here too, watch the kids while she was gone. Stuff like that.
So normal, everybody's got their bills and stuff.
Oh, yeah. I'll tell another story. I was telling another guy when she come down for a visit. 6 weeks she was down there. Like I said, she was staying like 3 or 4 days with us, 3 or 4 days with her parents. And every time, I go back from the very beginning when I first met her, I had something that was a little different about her. I was telling him they had come down from the other grandkids' birthday party from Charlotte. And they had bought these Power Ranger costumes to wear. That's what was in back then. That was years ago. And they forgot the head mask, the head thing to go on. And that morning at the party, she sent him all the way back to Charlotte. That was a 3-hour drive where we were at back to Charlotte and 3 hours back to get the mask. And just to prove my point more or less. Anyway, that was just something myself from that point. I said, sometimes the mask thing, wear 15, 20 minutes, they're going to take the damn thing off anyway, and just start playing with kids, and then what is a big deal. But when she come down this last time, she'll stay like 3 or 4 days with us. Like first 3 or 4 days, everything's fine. I mean, we can get along good, have a good time. I can show you a video here of the grandkids with my wife and stuff. Videos. Tell you on that.
We missed
Four chili monkeys jumping on the back. Walk the walk and walk the
I don't remember doing that one kid. I went to Adam. I don't have to play with my week, stuff.
And so everything was good at the beginning of the trip?
Yeah, well, I mean, every time she'd come over, it was just a matter of time for something would blow up. The third or fourth day, whatever, the first time she came over, my next door neighbor had passed away, and that was the day that she was gonna go back to Southern Pines. And the wife said, well, I gotta get my hair done, I gotta go pick up the flowers from my neighbor, and she come by where I work at a silver dealership, I saw the sign paper on the car I was getting. And she was by, said, we're gonna take you back now or wait this afternoon? So I was just wait. She says, we know a while, it's gonna take a while to go, there's okay, no problem. So she went and got her hair done, went and got flowers, come by my place and realized she left her phone at the hairdresser. So my daughter, she's in hair done too, she went and got it and bring it back to my work, and we was up in the finance office signing the paperwork. She then texts me, she says, where in the hell is Sydney at? I've been alone here with these kids for 5 hours. I said, your kids. I went and bought a trampoline for them, a swimming pool, this little boat pool and stuff, and another TV for another room with a bigger TV so they can watch and everything. And I said, well, she had my wife in tears in the finance office. That's how bad she jumped in my wife's text. And I said, no person from that. And then she says, I'll be there in a minute. That's all right, I got my daddy coming to get me. She's getting here as soon as I get the car seats, I'll run his truck. So she left mad that day, and Chris called was that night, and said, my wife asked him, he said, what do you want to do? For some reason I can't like get along with her. He said, Mom, just let it go. And I said, that's just the way she is sometimes, just let it go. I said, okay, I'll do it for you. All right, second time she come over. We had fun, made all kind of videos and pictures of them in the pool. My other 2 grandkids come over. Bella and Cece, that's Shanann's kids, they're 4 and 3. My other 2 grandkids are 10 and 7, the top of them. That's their tattoo right there, the double D's. I was gonna get one on this side for them, they were finished how many kids you have. But they come over and Cece's got a nut allergy, which we knew about. And my wife had bought some ice cream, because actually one of them had nuts in it, but we had it up on the upper shelf, which Cece couldn't get to it if she got in the refrigerator freezer. And my other granddaughter, Dylan, had a little single serving ice cream cups, and little small things like you buy at Walmart or whatever. And was in the bottom room, and she went there and got one, the other granddaughter. And Cece got upset because she couldn't have one, and so she said, well, honey, you can't have that, that one's might have nuts in it, we haven't checked it yet, whatever, so you can't have it. And Shanann went off on her. So it's not fair she can have one, and my child can have it, and all that type of stuff. And boy said, well, maybe it's a learning experience on what you do, like learn sometimes you can't have everything she wants. And a few minutes later, she came down there and said, you just trying to kill my child. Screaming at my wife, and I wasn't there, but this is, I mean, about 2 of the grandkids that she didn't know what the hell was doing. And so he said, you actually think I would try to hurt one of your children? And she said, you just trying to kill my child. And Cindy said, well, I think you just need to go and leave. And she asked, well, I'm not coming back. That was the second visit. Her daddy ended up coming getting her. And for the rest of 4 or 5 weeks, that was the part of the second week, the next 4 weeks. No contact with her, the 2 grandkids, one of those 2 grandkids. They're 30 miles away. And we planned on going down to the beach with them and everything else, and they took out at my daughter's house and everything. All that got blowed out. And when we did go to the beach, we was at Myrtle Beach, and there was that Norfolk Beach, 5 miles apart, still couldn't see them. And I said, well, okay, that's good. And I mean, there's no scenario that's like the same time was going on. Well, my mother's in a rehab center, she's like 93 years old, and then Dad went up there to see her on her birthday, and then we went to have a birthday party with her. And when they got back from the beach, I think it was on a Monday, they went to see her. And Chris called me and said, Dad, he wanted to come see us before he left, because he hadn't seen us all that we'd been down there. He'd been with them. So I went and picked them up, and rehab center, where my mother's staying at all them while they left them there for me to go pick up. So, you know, out in the house, had a couple of beers, good out some steaks and stuff. My daughter come over, and my son-in-law, my other grandkids come over and stuff. And about 8:30, 9 o'clock, I said, well, we'll just text her, just bring her back in the morning, you know, it's too late to be running all the way back up to 7 pounds now. He texted her, no, you know, I just like, I don't want to get your ass right now. You ain't staying there. So, 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, I had to take him back to 7 pounds. Because she demanded it has to be back there. She said, I need the help getting stuff ready to go back on the trip. And this was only 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. What are you going to do that night that you can't do the next morning when a flight don't leave at 7 o'clock that night, the next night?
Well, so the question I was just going to ask is, so when she went back to her parents' house, did Chris stay with you guys? Or did he go with her back to that?
No, the only time Chris was down there was last week.
Oh, so this was prior to that?
Yeah.
Prior to last week?
That was the last week, which we lost our son again because the whole time that when that last thing happened, we didn't have no contact with either one of them for the next, 3 or 4 weeks, whatever it was, till he come down.
And then when he came down, did they come visit again at your house?
No, she wouldn't come in. She wouldn't let the kids to our house.
And did Chris stay with you guys for that week? Or he went there?
He went to stay with her parents.
Okay.
So that's what she wanted.
Yeah. So you think that she has a controlling personality?
Very, very controlling.
Okay.
And my wife said she's like a narcissist, and something else she called her. She got, I can't remember the other name, but she uses sometimes. But that's what she says, she has a narcissist personality, what she said. Sometimes I think she's bipolar. He says she goes from 0 to 100 in 2 seconds. I mean, it's totally.
Would you say she's volatile, or she can get angry quickly?
Well, I haven't ever seen that side of her, but every time I seen my wife, my wife said she was screaming at her. Screaming, and said, you kind of killed my dad, Kyle. I said, my dad. I said, you actually believe that? He said, no, you do the videos of those. I mean, she loves the kids. She never do that for one kid.
Okay. Did you ever see her and Chris fighting? They ever yelling and screaming at each other, or no? Okay.
Anytime we visited or FaceTime, that's the first time they've been out in North Carolina in years.
Mm-hmm.
Every time they come up here, it's a lot cheaper for us to come up here than all of them come down here.
Sure. Any indication of violence between them? Anybody, did she ever hit him? Did he ever hit her? Any kind of, anywhere it got physical?
I've never known Chris to be physical at all, besides when he played football back when he was in Pee Wee League. So he was middle linebacker back then.
Yeah. Okay. And then, so when he comes and he visits, he winds up staying up with them, and you guys don't see each other for that last week, but do you see Chris?
This is just that last night before we left.
Last night. Okay. Does he come with the kids or just by himself?
By himself. When she wanted the kids to come over, that's when they said they went to see my mother, which is in a rehab center, which is like 7 or 8 miles from my house. And so he said he wanted to see us, and he was later. But they got to see us all that time. We went down there.
Gotcha. So then, do they fly back to Colorado together?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you think that's around the 9th or 10th, something like that?
Somewhere in that neighborhood, because she flew out. Because I think he went back to work on that Wednesday and Thursday. No, I think she flew out on Friday, if I'm mistaken.
Okay.
And come back, leave that Monday, like 1 or 2 o'clock morning, I think, when her flight come back.
Okay. And then when they come back here, you think she's here for a day or 2, and then she goes on that trip to Arizona?
Yeah.
Okay. And she didn't take the kids with her on that trip?
Right. No, she'll never take kids with her.
Never take. And then, so Chrissy working, is there a babysitter or somebody else?
You been out there in the daycare?
Daycare?
Like I said, I think she takes them there about 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, and he picks them up on the way home from work. So she really don't have most of that.
Okay. So she drops them off, and then he typically picks them up?
Picks them up on his way home.
Okay.
I guess probably sometimes she picks them up too, I reckon, but most of the time he picks them up. I'm not saying that's the way the routine is all the time, I just know that's.
Yeah.
That's basically how it works.
Sure. And we're trying to go over every detail of everything that they do and just see what the routine is, so, you know, okay. All right, so she. And then, you know what hours he works typically at the,
I think he said, he normally goes in about 5:30 in the morning. And most times, when we FaceTime at our house, it's between 6, 7, so it's around 5 something, he gets all my things.
Wow. He's working long days, so, okay.
I think between 4 or 5, I mean, size you have to do that day.
Okay.
And they might be earlier than that, but that's the only we always try to FaceTime them by the time they eat dinner, that's when the kids are sitting there going through something like this.
And so when they got back and then from the time they got back to Colorado, did you speak to him at all during that time? Or did you speak to him that first time on Monday? What did you call him to say?
I can't remember how I talked to him since then. I probably do. Probably on the phone, but probably had somebody on there, probably deleted a lot of them.
Yeah, it could be text messages, phone call.
I'm pretty sure I did, because he had told us before he left, that day he did come over and he said, he said it's not working. He said, I don't love her anymore, he said, it's just not there, he said, he does the kids to death, but he said, he was just done with her.
So he knew that by the time he was about to leave to go back to Colorado.
And she knew it too.
She knew it too.
She knew, he already told her about it.
So had they, and
How he got to me, he said, it was going to, he said, Colorado's on the 50-50 state or whatever, and as far as husband and wife, he said, if I'm mistaken, he said that she was the one that put the house on the market already. So he said,
was the house for sale?
He said he wanted to go ahead and sell it. I think he said, he wanted to go ahead and get a separation from the house up for sale.
Okay.
And I don't know who told me that deal. Well, Coach Chris said they want to take it on and sell it in the house market around here anyway. But I don't remember who told me that she went ahead and put it on the market.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, we could, Coach Chris ain't got time, by the time hours he works and stuff, he ain't got time to watch it.
Well, we'll figure that out. But, so they pretty much, and so she knew too, she wanted divorce as well, and the separation with
I
a
don't know how that was working, but that takes us, when she sent the picture of the sonogram, and that was about the same time Chris told her, and said, it ain't working. And that's when she was trying to get back into our lives. They got probably said she's done, I guess, over the years, whatever, I don't know. I guess that was a reach out to us, more or less the way I look at it, trying to make everything all hunky-dory now again. Maybe she was thinking maybe Chris would change his mind or something or whatever, and she could talk him out of it or whatever. I don't know what her point behind that was. But that's when, I'm pretty sure that's where that text come from, when he told her that he wanted a separation.
And then what was the date on that again? The text?
It was, it's not on there. It says on Thursday. I think that was when they got back to Colorado. So yes, it says we got sonogram when she got back to Colorado. Because I was going to do it.
Let's see, so that would have been
Last Thursday.
last Thursday, the 8th?
I think. So,
Okay, today's the 15th.
Yeah.
It would be like the 8th.
that's when I think she was trying to reach out when the sheriff sent me a picture of the baby. I talked to you in 5 weeks now, also 6 weeks now, all of a sudden you want to talk.
All right. So, and then had he decided, had Chris decided, 100%, was it something like where he was saying, I'm thinking about the separation? Yeah.
I don't think so, because, I think he pretty much made up his mind.
A tough situation.
It wasn't working, he didn't see it getting any better.
Okay. And then has she ever, disappeared before? Has she ever said, I'm taking the kids and going to a friend's house or said, I'm gonna go stay at my friend's house by myself for the night? You're aware of anything like that?
I'm not aware of it. No, I'm not.
Okay. Okay. And then how about him? Has it ever got bad where he's like, yeah, I'm just gonna go spend the night someplace else? Or I gotta get away from you guys, you know, go to a hotel?
I'm not aware of it.
Nothing like that. Okay. All right. So they've never had a situation in the house where one of them had to leave?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. And then as far as police, ever mentioned, Christopher mentioned police coming to the house, domestic violence, any kind of, nothing? All right, so it never got that bad. But they just, for whatever reason.
He didn't love her anymore. It just wasn't working. You like to think about the new baby here and stuff. My wife came the day said, you know, she was pregnant, said you might just have to tough it out, you know, just have the baby and help out with that. So, but like I said, she said it was his idea, he said totally it was her idea on another child.
And then any, you know, anything on either side where, you know, they're fighting about how that would work, you know, if the two separate, who's gonna stay in the house, who's gonna have to move out, or, you know.
Well, like I said, they said that more or less, it was a 50-50 state that's gonna sell the house, and more or less, they pay child support, and give it a separate lease, and, I don't know, it's still up in the air about, you know, visitation and all that, they haven't got that far yet. He was talking, he wanted to file for separation, I don't think, was it 90 days or 90, what was it? And thought about it. I don't know if I think it's a year.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that actually, so
sure.
I don't know what the state law is on that.
Yeah. It's either 90 days or 9 months, I'm not sure which one it is, something like that. But Chris had told me about what it was.
Okay.
But, he was, it wasn't no work, he didn't see it was going to be changing anything, and it would go back to, and he said when he come down, when she was in North Carolina, when he come down, she said, Chris, will you change? I said, no, I haven't changed, I just realized I'm just alone at the house, when you're there and you're not there. And I said, there's no difference. So, that's more or less how he broke it down.
Okay. And then when he called you on Monday to let you know that something's wrong, don't know where they are, and all that, so can you tell me about that? What was he thinking at that time? What was he?
Well, no, he said, no, it was upset, big time, upset. And he said, I don't know what the hell's going on. He said, you don't know if she took the kids and left, but he said the car's here, their phone's here. He said, another making damn sense there. I don't know what the hell's going on. Unless he said somebody was going to pick her up. But, there's no evidence of nothing. I mean, like I said, they left her car there, and a phone, and her purse, and so. He said, no, it makes a big sense, because all the doors were when he got there, and I guess the police had come for a wellness check or whatever. And he said, all the damn doors were locked. So he said, if she left on her own, went out the door, locked the door behind her. Well, the door doesn't have to lock anyway, but still.
And he didn't mention anything about any problem at the house or anything like that. There's nothing. There was a broken window. There was
when he said
kicked in door.
He said he didn't see nothing. I guess when the police got there, they looked around too. They didn't see anything. But he said, I asked him, so what happened earlier in the day? He told me, what that discussion, the thought they had that morning, and told him to go ahead and file separation and stuff and everything. And he said he was going to go ahead and go to work. She said, I'm going to go stay with a friend.
Also, she said she was going to be,
she told him I'm going to go stay with a friend, but didn't say who.
Didn't say him. Okay.
But she just got back from that trip with them two, Nicole and somebody else, I don't know what her name was.
Okay.
But that's what he told her. She told him that she was going to go stay with a friend.
Any idea who that would be? Who's closest to her?
I have no idea. She's got so many damn followers. I mean, she's got
a lot of Facebook friends.
hundreds.
Okay.
Hundreds. And a lot of them around here. And that girl that did the wellness dudes, that was one of them. They just got back from where it was Arizona, I think it was Arizona. They went to that LaBelle thing. That was, I guess she lives around here somewhere, because she's not seen her on the news broadcast for an interview in front of the house.
Oh, so she went on that business trip to Arizona with her? Do you know who that is?
With that woman, Nicole from, in Columbia. I don't know if you've seen any news feeds or what, but she was one of them that was talking to the press outside Chris's house.
Yeah, and I actually haven't seen any of that stuff yet.
That's why I'm going to catch a fish.
That bump. There you go.
That's her right there.
Okay. That's, that's Nicole.
Yeah.
Okay. We don't know her last name. Is that her last name?
Yeah.
Not last. Glasses. What's that last name?
U-T-O-F-T.
U-T-O-F-T.
That's like hell of that name.
Yeah, Utah. Sorry, my glasses. U-T-O-F-T.
That's right.
Okay. So that's the friend she went on the trip with to Arizona.
Well, there she is. Well, there's a bunch of people there, put it that way,
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure if we've spoken to her yet or not, but we're trying to speak to everybody.
Looks like you're after the
There's some pictures over here of her and a whole group of other people, maybe dinners and stuff, and I can't get off of it now. I can put a picture of it until that's on there.
Yeah, no problem. So, and then he spoke to you, and you think it was about 4:30, right, on Monday?
Been up for our time, because I just got home from work, nothing else eating, but when I get home around about 6:30, but it's out between 4:30 and 5 here, so somewhere in that neighborhood.
And that's fine, it's all approximate. And so he spoke to you, essentially said, don't know where she is, nothing's missing, the house isn't broken, and nothing like that.
He said,
Just don't know where.
He said, I have no clue what she's there. I said, the kids are gone, she's gone.
Do you know, so the kids normally, it was a Monday, so the kids normally would go to daycare?
I don't know, I've seen some posts sometimes where she'll take Cece today to the school, and sometimes take Bella with her on like a afternoon playtime, take her to a park or out to eat lunch type things and stuff like that, and go back and pick up Cece later. She won't take both of them at the same time.
Okay. But did Chris mention to you whether or not the kids got to daycare, whether they were there or not?
That day? On Monday?
Yeah, on Monday?
No, so.
Because I'm just wondering, so if they're not home well, actually, I don't know what time he gets home, but I'm just wondering did he mention
Well, that
they going to daycare?
Well, that day, I don't think they ever went because, so when he called me that night, he said that girl was gone. If I'm mistaken, what he had said, that Nicole girl was supposed to hook up with Shanann that day. They just got back, 2 o'clock in the morning from Arizona, where it was. And Shanann was supposed to have a doctor's appointment that day also. And she didn't show the doctor's appointment. That's when she went over there for knock on the door to get away answer the door. That's when she called the police for a witness check. And that's what she said on the news broadcast.
But did he mention that? Did Chris tell you that? That she had a doctor's appointment?
No.
Or you just saw it?
I saw it.
Okay. I just don't want to write anything.
Oh, yeah.
Because
No,
I don't think that's okay, yeah. So I'm just wondering what he had mentioned. So did he know if she made the doctor's appointment? Or that didn't even come on?
That didn't come on.
And did he know if the kids went to daycare?
Never probably never well. So Nellie, whatever time she went over there to check on Shanann, and that's the wellness check, I guess they had to call Chris to come home and open doors and let them, look around and stuff, which he said they did, look around and find nothing. And come back a few hours later with a warrant, search warrant to search the house. Yeah. So that's basically all he told me that one night, and it seemed, it was really upset big time. He said we had no clue whether it was that, what the hell happened. He was caught up.
Just didn't know. Yeah. Okay. And that was the one, the call on Monday.
Yeah.
And then, was there another phone call? Did he call or, and actually, I mean, that was a phone call, that was a text or anything, or email, that was a phone call. Were there any other ones between now and then, where you guys spoke on the phone, or he texted you, or emailed you, or anything like that?
Just more or less tell me what was going on about the news crew being out there and all this stuff, and then still come back looking at the house, and was it yesterday they did. Like yesterday they did something, I forgot what it was.
But you guys, have you been in touch on a regular?
Oh, no, yeah.
Probably talked more than once, right?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Okay. Anything by email or text, or just all phone calls?
Most of them was phone calls, and I told them, just call me when we got a chance, people were blowing up his phone and putting plates in them, and the news crews out there and all that shit, and I said, how are you surviving? I'm like, I said, no,
They got parked outside the house, I'm sure. Okay. So you talked to several times, a bunch of times between Monday and then you flew in this morning.
Yeah.
And actually, what time did you get in today?
Got here at about 9:15, 9:20 when I landed at the airport.
Okay.
And that's when he basically called Chris and asked me to stop by here. We was on my way back from the airport, on back.
Okay. Did he come pick you up?
I did, yeah. Well, I wasn't gonna Uber, but he texted me, once I turned my phone back off airplane mode, he texted me, said, if I know when you land, I'll come pick you up.
And so how do you see him on the ride? How's he doing? Is he hanging in there? Or?
He's hanging in there, but he just stood up, 100 questions on what the hell was going on there. He said, I don't know, if she done something. Just like I asked him, so they still building houses back there behind you, apartments, where he lives at. Last time I come out, I had to keep building behind him there. And I said, are they still doing construction work? And he said, yeah. So you don't think anything construction buildings snatched her up or something? So I said, I'm just thinking all different scenarios. I'm like,
well, that's what you got to do, think about any possibility. Does he have it? Does he have any idea? Is he anything that he thought to you saying, hey, maybe this happened, or did he see anybody suspicious around the house? Did he have a confrontation with anybody? Any problem with a coworker? Because I guess he's a low-key guy.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's very cold-blooded, and I like him. It takes long to get me pissed off.
Yeah. Let him do it. Yeah. So he's not a guy who's getting into confrontations, not that much. He didn't mention any enemies or anything, anybody who's got a beef with him, or any reason why somebody would want to get at him or get at the family, or nothing. So no threats, no, okay. No problems. And from what?
You're not that big.
Yeah. I'm a scribble guy, so I just scribble all over the place, but I have it up here. I remember.
I try to have a pretty good memory, but I've been in the parts business for 30-something years, so the numbers and everything else stay in my
And this is a general interview. I'm just trying to get a baseline. And you never know what can help. Because if everybody remembers a little something, who knows?
I love grandbabies to death. I love her too. But we got along good, for a few days each time. And so there's always something come up that, like I said, she's all about what she wants when she wants it. Not trying to put her down or nothing like that. That's just like her personality is.
Well, and for us, it's important to know who we're dealing with, right? If we're looking for somebody, what they might have done, where they might have gone. Is there anything, do you think, from your knowledge of her, do you think she's the type of person who hurt herself or hurt her children?
I would say the kids,
No.
When it comes down to herself, I don't know. But to them kids, I don't think she would. I know I've profiled her as not doing a whole lot with the kids, but she loves the kids. And just like Chris loves me, I love the kids, my wife, everybody loves them. But as far as her goes on to herself, I wouldn't say yay or nay. I mean, you never know what somebody gets mad.
Any health problems? Either physical or mental?
To my knowledge, she supposed to have lupus years ago, but that's more or less under control, and she had to have something on her spine done not too long ago.
Not sure what that is.
No, some deterioration of some vertebrae or something. She had to get done not too long ago.
Any mental issue, you're aware of her ever going to a psychiatrist, psychologist, any kind of?
No, I was told about that.
And any counseling that you were aware of? The other two of them ever tried to go to counseling to work out?
Something to tell Dad sometimes, I don't.
That's true, that's true, I know I don't tell my parents everything. And anything else you can think of that might be useful? Is any friends that they ever talked about, or any anybody who they interact with? I mean,
Yes, but she got a bunch of friends, put it that way. And they would have these little parties and meetings sometimes at their house and stuff, but Christopher got some of his friends, I could say he stayed with friends of his last night, but he had like going back to the house, all the stuff going on over there and stuff, so we stayed with him last night.
and were those, is those his closest friends, or who would be?
I don't really know what his closest friends around here are, but I ain't really met many of them when we come down. Most of the time when we come down, we'd go out to the zoo and stuff like this, and all kind of everything else around here, and splash pads and stuff like that. We really met his friends that much here.
Does Chris, because I know she's got thousands of friends on Facebook, but does Chris ever, is he on Facebook? Does he do that?
He was. He just recently did. He's tiring of hearing all the posts about negative shit. So.
Okay. And is he a social guy? Does he have a lot of friends, or?
He has not that many. He has a few. He just owns anything. Not like I do. They take me out as I am.
But he's not a big social media guy, or friends and parties. And
I don't know. It's like when she was gone, like you said, he went to the drag races in town, NHRA, about there, which he ain't went to in years. Like me and him used to go to races all the time back when he was young and stuff. I think NASCAR races, drag races and stuff, and he'd done that in years. He did that. He did that. So I missed that. He's done that long.
Yeah. So he probably got some break. Just being by himself.
Yeah, and seen him a couple of buddies from work, that drag racing on that one Saturday, and come back home.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, was that this Saturday?
No, that was weeks ago.
Okay. Yeah. And then nobody else you can think of. I mean, he didn't ever say to your dad, this guy at work is pain in the neck, or this neighbor of mine does strange stuff, or
Not somebody make the dog one time with a
Okay. And then at the construction, I want to ask you again about that. So there's construction going on behind the house.
Yeah.
Can you see anybody like?
Well, I just brought that up to him on the way back from the airport.
Oh, you brought, okay. He didn't mention it.
No, he didn't, but I mentioned that to him. I said, there's like walk around, people want to come, little crews come and go, you got electricians over here, plumbers over here, woodworkers over here, and they work 2 or 3 jobs, and poof, they're gone. I'm just throwing that out there. I said, I don't think about it. Different scenarios, what could happen.
Right.
I said, just throw that out there. I said, heard the kids might be in the backyard, and I mean, there's plenty of people around there, but depending on what time of day it was, stuff too. So.
Yeah, but so nothing suspicious though. Have you everywhere? Okay. Yeah, and obviously Chris is, they're talking to him. And we're talking to everybody. Maybe anybody saw anything suspicious. Hopefully that'll come off. But okay.
But I did mention something. Chris mentioned something to me that on the way back that there was a debit or credit thing on one of her credit cards for that same day they got back for a taxi or a limo. So she called the bank to issue transactions. And she used a credit card for a taxi or a limo on that same day.
On Monday. Huh? Do you know what time that was?
I don't know. That's what I was trying to find out. I said, you know what time it was and everything? He says, no. He said, there was just a transaction. He thought y'all might knew about that already.
Yeah, and they probably,
They might.
we had so many people working on this that.
I said, well, that's the limo all the girls took back. I think there's 3 girls around here. And I said, was that limo the girls took back from the airport? Go back home? And I said, there's 3 different people, 3 different places. But on the news broadcast one day, she said she brought Shanann home between 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning when she dropped her off.
Who's that? Who worked with
Nicole.
Nicole brother. Oh,
No.
okay.
That's what the news broadcast said.
So Nicole went with her to Arizona.
Yeah.
So Nicole must have parked the car or something.
Yeah, but I asked Jessica, I said, yeah, Nicole's car was at the airport. So I said, well, if the car was at the airport, why didn't even damn taxi or a limo taxi?
Yeah. But does he think that's what the charge was? Is that they took a taxi home from?
That's what he said. Well, he didn't know. He didn't know what time it was. All of a sudden, was trying action for either a taxi or a limo taxi for that date, but he didn't know what time it was or anything else.
Okay. And they couldn't tell if the taxi came, what time?
I don't know. That was just on the credit card thing.
All right, we'll find out. Yeah.
Just about that. Just thought I'd put that there.
Everything matters.
I'm just trying to think of things.
If they got a car and they went somewhere, obviously we want to know that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And did he mention anything about any neighbors or anything? Any neighbors, because I'm assuming he probably talked to his neighbors.
Yeah, well, everybody got everyone had windows and shit.
Yeah, well, for sure. Yeah, but they didn't see anything or hear anything?
Or not, my knowledge, they haven't seen nothing, but it depends on what time of the day it was, you know. They probably was going to work and stuff and everything else, so.
Okay. Okay. Anything else you can think of? Any, I'm thinking. Well, it's just, Chris, does he have any brothers and sisters?
Yeah, so.
Sister? Are they close at all? Or do you reach out?
They're kind of close to me, they talked quite a bit here recently. That's my daughter, Jamie.
Jim? Yeah.
She lives in Parkins, about 20 miles, 30 miles from my house.
In North Carolina?
Yeah.
Just in case if we need to reach out to her.
Yeah, she said, Good Morning America called her yesterday.
Who did?
Good Morning America called my daughter yesterday, one of them anytime, Jamie says, excuse me, I'm not.
That's the thing, the news will be all over this.
Yeah,
They are national news. You know, anytime somebody goes missing, it's just, yeah. Okay. And then, is there any relatives of yours here in Colorado? When Chris was at, there's no cousins, there's no distant relatives, nothing. And you know if and I was going to say wrong, say Shannon, but it's Shannon. Yeah, you're used to that. So Shannon, do you know if she has any relatives here?
Not my knowledge, no. No, just, like whenever she moved out there, got some friends of hers was out here or something. I don't remember exactly the reason they moved out here to begin with, but when they first moved out there, he worked at the Ford dealership and she was working a couple different jobs, hot jobs and stuff. No, that's the second house they had. They had another house before we got that one.
Second house?
Yeah. And if I remember serves right, I could be wrong.
Okay. No problem. And you know why they moved to Frederick? Any particular reason? Is it close to work or what's there?
I'm not sure how far his work is from here, because when he was working at the Ford dealership, he was working. What's that, trying to remember that in town where he was working at. It wasn't just a Ford dealership out here. It was another one, Longmont. That's where he drove every day.
Okay. Yeah, that's a pretty close commute. Yeah. But there was nothing special about Frederick. It wasn't like, they had some friend here or something. No. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, I can't think of anything else unless there's something else that pops up that you think that might be useful. I mean, they're gonna, what we're gonna do. We're gonna search everything and talk to everybody.
Oh yeah.
So, and obviously the whole country's aware of it. It's national news. But yeah, we'll do everything we can and see where things lead us. So, if you do think of anything else, let us know. I'm going to be so we're sort of a joint team of investigators here. We have, of course, Frederick PD. We have state CBI, FBI, so we have FBI as well. And so we have a whole group of investigators who are working on this. And we will be until we resolve it.
There's got to be an answer somewhere.
Well, that's it. I mean,
I hate to say that my wife watched a lot of ID Discovery.
Yeah, my wife too.
And she did. I said, no, you're not filming. I said, you're too much prefer you'll have them come along with ID Discovery.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a tough situation. Yeah, with these things, you can't make any assumptions. You just got
not anything. Yeah. You can everything in black and white.
Yeah. Well, I got a feeling Chris is probably going to be here for a while because talking to him is going to be from the day he was born. So it's probably gonna be a long day for you. I apologize in advance, but we gotta get every single detail we can. And then, of course, we'll be at this, round the clock. So, I don't know what can make you most comfortable. You have his vehicle?
Yeah.
And you have access to that if you need it? You have keys? Okay. And then obviously, I don't know how much there is to do with Frederick, or if you wanna go eat lunch, or whatever you wanna do.
Walk up Abbott Street, find something to eat.
That's what I say. I'm sure.
I just gonna plug my phone up and start or something.
Okay. All right.
You gonna be around?
Yeah, I'm gonna be around. We'll be in. Mark.
Yeah. And that's Chris's best friend from way back when they was Mark.
Easy to remember. Okay.
That's good.
Well, I mean, Graham here too, one of us will try to keep in touch with you. Again, we got a room full of investigators. We have all sorts of people out on the road, running down when you're speaking to people, as you can imagine, right?
None of y'all had leads, so you can't say nothing about it. I know that.
To be honest, perfectly honest with you, I hadn't told you yet. I didn't even know about this until early this morning. So basically, we call in bodies. I mean, if we need to, we can call in 100 more investigators.
Yeah.
So we call in everybody who we, need. So I got a phone call this morning saying, come down to Frederick PD. So I'm behind the curve as far as what's going on. Yeah. So I'm just here, you walked in, hey, I can talk to you. So if we get any information, we're gonna let you know. And you're right here at the police department, so. Yeah, so just if you wanna make yourself as comfortable as you can.
Oh, you give us water and stuff there.
Got it. Those are things you need to do.
Exactly.
Let's see.
Lock it in.
That would be a first.
That'll be a slight part from outside, wouldn't it?
No. What the heck?
It's like a flat thing from outside. Okay.
First, yeah, let's see. These ain't gonna do it.
Okay, sorry, that's that, never mind. No.
I don't know if they see this. Oh. There we go.
There you go.
All right, thank you, sir. Okay. Yeah.
My thoughts. What other girl is Ronnie talking about? Unfortunately, he doesn't say any more about her, and the officer doesn't ask either. Ronnie verifies that Shanann and Chris were having marital difficulties. Chris had spoken to him about it. Ronnie also verifies that Shanann knew Chris wanted a separation and that Chris had told her prior to Monday morning. Chris told Ronnie that no one paid attention to the back doors, or back patio. What happened there, because in my opinion something did, is that the way Shanann was taken out the house. Also Chris said something don't lock anyway. I wonder what that is, a door or a window, or the garage. Who was Shanann calling? For Chris to mention this to his dad, something must have bothered him about it.